Well, Howie Roseman continued his offseason spending spree yesterday by bringing back a familiar face and extending Jalen Hurts' main bodyguard, but his task of signing DeVonta Smith to a contract extension might be getting harder and harder as the days go by, and one-star pass rusher upset with his current team could be looking for a draft day trade. Let's speculate a little bit here. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. Well, you probably saw yesterday, we got a couple of new signings that aren't exactly groundbreaking, but they do both make the Eagles better, first of which was Avonte Maddox returning to Philadelphia on a one-year contract. Now, we don't know the numbers on this one yet, but I think it's very safe to say it's going to be extremely cheap and very team-friendly because everybody knows Maddox's biggest issue has been health, having only played in 16 games once during 6 seasons in the league, all of which being an Eagle. Still, though, the idea that signing Avonte Maddox back is a bad move because he can't stay healthy doesn't really hold water when we eventually see the contract money. It's going to be very, very cheap. And let's be honest, when he is healthy, again, when, big if, I know he doesn't stay healthy, but if he can stay on the football field, he's one of the better nickel cornerbacks in the National Football League. And remember last year, the Eagles had a depth problem, especially at nickel. The more nickels they have on this roster, the better they're going to be in 2024. Plus, I'm sure Maddox BFF Dallas Goedert is also pretty darn happy that his best friend and roommate is going to be staying in Philadelphia, so thumbs up for friendship. Now, I know some of you Northeastern friends might have felt a little earthquake this morning, but rest assured there was just Jordan Mailata jumping up and down following his massive 3-year, $66 million extension yesterday with $48 million guaranteed, keeping the star left tackle in Philadelphia for what will be the long term through 2028. You pair that with Landon Dickerson's extension a few weeks ago, Cam Jurgens still on a rookie deal, and of course Lane Johnson still cemented with his contract in Philadelphia, and it's good news for Jalen Hurts, who just signed his massive contract. He's going to have one of the better, if not the best offensive lines staying in front of him, staying together for the bulk of his main contract. That's 3 seasons from now. I mean, come on, take a bow, Howie Roseman. I know the Reddick stuff gets people upset, but he really has outdone himself with keeping the core players, getting some new young faces, and getting younger, which we talked about yesterday. Of course, I understand where the comment section is going to go, and I know that almost all of my 46,000 subscribers really want the DeVonta Smith contract to be the main focus going forward, and as it currently stands, he doesn't have a new deal, and it's kind of interesting that it's been quiet. I mean, leaving many to wonder why the two sides have yet to come to an agreement to keep 6 in Philly long term. Although I think NJ.com made an interesting point yesterday when saying there's a chance that Smitty could want to play out the upcoming season on his current deal and hope to have a huge year in Kellen Moore's 2 wide receiver system, therefore making him even more lucrative and more money next offseason. Listen to what Chris Franklin said, quote, "Given how new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore has put receivers in advantageous positions in his stints as an offensive coordinator, Smith could be lined up for a big season, which would drive up his price if a deal is not done soon." Andrew DeCiccio echoed this point yesterday on The Fanatic when he argued that Smitty is just waiting for other receivers to reset the market first before signing his deal. Therefore, it sounds like he wants to get the most money possible.
You would think that it would, but it also takes, on Devontae's side, you're going to see the price for the going rate for wide receivers. Look at Justin Jefferson and players of that mold, Jalen Waddle. It's going to skyrocket here in the summer. So Devontae could be wanting to hang back and see what the cost of the going rate is and get paid even more and reset the market. So, yeah, if you're the Eagles, you want to get it done maybe quickly, but maybe right. Devontae might not be in such a rush. They do have a little bit of time here to work with it. Yes, because both players have proven that they can be transformative. And the Eagles prioritize the passing game. Those are 2 premier players. They're going to help your quarterback long-term, who you just invested heavily in. I think that if anything, Andrew, they're going to find a way to make it work with both players and keep them in-house.
Now, I don't think we should be concerned that Smitty is unsigned. I don't think he's going to try and hold out this year. At worst, as we mentioned a couple of seconds ago, he might want to play out the current contract and then try and get even more money. My one real issue here, though, is you already signed A.J. Brown to a $25 million a year deal when you traded for him a couple of drafts ago. You got to make sure Smitty's contract is not only favorable to DeVonta Smith, but also favorable to A.J. Brown, who is technically better, while also making sure you can afford both star wide receivers going forward for many years to come. Oh, and speaking of DeVonta Smith, the guys running his 3rd annual celebrity charity softball game reached out to me yesterday and wanted me to share with you guys that the tickets are now on sale for the June 29th Home Run Derby and softball game at Coca-Cola Park in Allentown. Now, this event has looked awesome each of the last 2 seasons. I mean, last year there were a ton of big-name Eagles. Jalen Hurts was there. Future Eagles Saquon Barkley was also there as well. A.J. Brown is already confirmed for this year in 2024. The crowds are going to be even bigger, so make sure you guys go ahead and grab your tickets now via the link down below in my description box and join the fun during what is normally a slow June for football. Oh, and there's a good chance that Josh and I might be in attendance as well. More details on that coming forward in the future. Now, unrelated to DeVonta Smith, we did get a little update from safety Sidney Brown yesterday regarding his injury progress and timeline after suffering that brutal ACL tear late last year, and honestly, it sounds pretty good.
If you really want me to, no, I feel great. I've been kind of in and out of Philly. I worked with a lot of the trainers back at my home school in Illinois, and Jerome and Tom and the crew here has been working real hard with me. So I feel like I'm miles ahead of where I should really be.
Brown was a mixed bag in his rookie season. I thought he flew around really, really well. The speed and the tackling were great, but he also had, a couple of boneheaded plays, as rookie safeties tend to do. The injury was a huge setback, which probably contributed to the Eagles extending Reed Blankenship, but if Brown can get healthy and even play at the beginning of the season, Vic Fangio's defense has been very safety-friendly throughout his entire stint as a defensive coordinator, and I really think Brown can flourish in year 2. Now, when we talk about defense, did you notice yesterday that disgruntled Jaguars pass rusher Josh Allen seemed a little upset with his team following the news that Stephon Diggs was going to the division rival, the Texans? I mean, look at this tweet here where Allen liked this one from Fred Taylor, which basically said that the Jaguars never go for the kill shot, they never go all in, and they don't really care about winning. And of course, this is not the first time Josh Allen has been upset. He wanted a new contract extension this offseason after 16.5 sacks in 2023, only to get franchise tag at about $24 million a year. Now, the two sides have said we're trying to work on a deal, but we're a couple weeks away from the NFL draft, and no deal is yet in sight, and that tweet right there from Josh Allen tells me he's still a little upset to be a Jaguar. So why don't we speculate a little bit? Could Philadelphia be interested in trading for Josh Allen to bring in another star pass rusher and what would be potentially a really interesting contract extension for him as well after the trade? It could happen, although I know you're immediately going to comment, Thomas, why didn't we just go ahead and extend Hassan Reddick instead of having to trade for Allen? Well, there's a big key here. We talked about getting younger. Allen's 26 years old. He's still in his prime. Reddick will turn 30 this season, and Philly has the money technically to make this work if they really felt like they need another pass rusher. Now, I think they're fine with what they currently have, including newly signed Bryce Huff. I think Chop Robinson, Jared Verse in a couple of weeks could also be an option, but would you be absolutely shocked if Philadelphia did another day of the draft trade like they did with A.J. Brown a couple of years back to bring a disgruntled star to Philadelphia, give him the money that he wants, and create a really scary pass rush in the absence of Hassan Reddick? Finally, in kind of a lighthearted story, WrestleMania is at the Link tonight, and although I'm not a big WWE WrestleMania guy, this clip of The Rock explaining why he was late to an event last night, it's supposed to be funny, but it was a little annoying there, Dwayne.
Is that why you're booing? You're booing because The Rock was a little late. Is that why you were booing? Why was The Rock late? You want to know? You want to know why The Rock was late? Are you sure? You want to know why The Rock was late? He was watching YouTube. Watching Jalen Hurts lose in the playoffs again.
Now I get it, he's playing his character. I mean, he's The Rock, but still, he's acting like Jalen Hurts has this laundry list of first-round playoff exits when a couple of years back, he made it through the second round, the third round, and outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Maybe you should watch those, Dwayne, although I guess it makes sense that he's bitter because his favorite football team has been irrelevant for basically my entire lifetime. We got plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks. It's my birthday tomorrow. I'll be 28 years old, and if you want to get me a birthday gift, sub down below. We're so close to 50,000 subs, a massive milestone for any Eagles channel. I would love to get there sooner rather than later. If you guys have not subbed yet, go down below and hit that red button, and of course, we'll see you guys in the next one. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been The Thomas Mott Show.